Welcome. We're looking at John chapter 11, the dying and the raising of Lazarus. There's a lot of faith shown in this long account. There's faith shown in words. Martha saying, I believe that you are the one who is to come and that you will raise all people at the end times. There's faith shown in actions. Mary and Martha rushing, or Mary rushing out, people removing the rock at the front of the tomb when Jesus commands them to. And I love the fascinating thing that as Lazarus, whether he walks straight or lurches out of the tomb, he's still all wrapped up. And for new life to emerge in others, sometimes, maybe most times, it needs help and support from us. In this case, the people around have to unwrap Lazarus. Whether that was a smelly job or not, new life in others does need help from us. There's a lot of love in this account. And I'm fascinated by how did Mary, Martha, and Lazarus get to be so close to Jesus? We're not told. I'm just sort of like wondering what happened that this place, just a couple of kilometers outside Jerusalem, became a safe place, a safe haven for Jesus. And how did they become such good people for Jesus to be with? We don't know, but I'm just thinking about that. And I guess it's a reminder that even strong people who seem to have their lives all together, people like Jesus, those people need love and care as well. So just be aware of that the next time you see someone around you who seems to have everything together. Just be aware they also need love and care. And finally, here, as in the woman at the well, it's the women who give clear confessions of faith and help lead their communities to Jesus. Tears. Tears are so important. I remember seeing my growing grandchild the first time I saw tears in her eyes as she got old enough. And instinctively, if a child is crying or upset, we reach out to support them. So there's tears, both for Martha, Mary, and all their people who have gathered around. And they're so well loved, this family, that so many people come to support them. And when Mary rushes up to go, they all think, oh, she's going to the tomb, we'll go and support her. And they rush with her. And Jesus, seeing all this great love, Martha's great love, Mary's great love, and all the people around, he's touched by that. He also picks that up. There's something called mirror neurons that have to grow and develop in our brains as we're growing up as children. And it's so important that we see and model good emotional things to our children and grandchildren. That helps them connect and identify with other people. And that's why if we're around someone who's tearing up, we'll probably tear up. If we're around someone who's suddenly caught up in deep emotion, we'll go quiet and wait to see what happens. This is another of the great I am statements in the Gospel of John. There are 7 of them. And this whole I am starts with Moses back at the burning bush. God introduces himself to Moses. Moses says, okay, who am I going to tell your people that you are? What name do you have? I am who I am, or I will be who I will be. And then at the woman at the well, I am the one talking to you. I am the Messiah. And with the healing of the man born blind, I'm the light of the world, and I've come to bring light into people's lives. And in this chapter, I am the resurrection and the life. I was reading this week about Reverend Adam Bucko in Long Island in the US, working with homeless people. And he discovered within himself a helplessness, because you really believe that I was there among the homeless fixing their lives, but it wasn't really working. They were still just one step away from being hurt or even killed when they went back on the streets. As a result of the crisis I underwent, my work evolved from a highly praised, solution-oriented and evidence-based practice into something much more intuitive. It really moved into prayer. This is what Adam wrote. Every time I allowed myself to feel at a loss in the face of the pain I witnessed, every time I touched my own irrelevance, there was this energy of God that would begin to emerge in our midst. All I had to do was say yes to it. The presence of God was there, always ready to pick up the broken pieces from the floor and reassemble them into something good, into something wholesome. And when that happened, it was often not clear who was helping whom, because in each of those sacred moments, I received just as much as I was giving, if not more. So his book is called Let Your Heartbreak Be Your Guide, Reverend Adam Bucko. Jesus said, I am the resurrection and the life. And in the case of Lazarus, it was here and now, and it's always that in our own lives. New life is being called into being inside each one of us every moment. No matter what's happening to us physically or emotionally or spiritually, and if it seems like a big downhill spiral, new life is still being called into being inside us. We're all, male, female, whatever our age, pregnant with new life from God. It's not just the Virgin Mary. For a lot of things, it's not yet ready to be born. It's not yet formed. It's not able to come out and be visible to others or even to ourselves. So be aware of that. And like Lazarus, it may need unwrapping, this new life or new being inside us. And we may need to help others unwrap that gift. And never, ever, ever compare your beginning of new life to other people's middles or spectacular completions. It doesn't work that way. If you're just starting on something, don't be intimidated by the amazing things other people have done. Don't compare yourself to them. I am the resurrection and the life. And this shows up in all sorts of ways. You will experience times when compassion is literally called out of you and you didn't want it to be. Your heart goes out to others, and later or over time, it'll be even for enemies, those people who have caused you serious distress or done you wrong. The resurrection and the life. That means we don't have to whitewash our past or cover over all our mistakes. And we don't have to micromanage our futures. God is a generous God, and there is more than enough to go around. I'm the resurrection of the life. It might mean that we're able to live with and forgive life for not being what it should have been. So we're learning to live and cope with what actually is, rather than what we wanted or insisted it should have been. Tears. Tears are so vital and so precious. Go with the tears. Tears and love go very close together. It's guaranteed that if you love deeply, there will be times of tears, and that's okay. Trust the connections between yourself and other people who are grieving. And always expect the promise of new life, expect the resurrection.